I would like to invite David Lepper, Member of Parliament for Brighton Pavilion, to address us. I would like to give the opportunity to the participants here, members of the public, to ask questions and make contributions at some point as well. I assume that you guys will be able to stay with us for those. But I will ask you to address us now, please.
Thank you very much, Peter, and thank you for the invitation to be here tonight. And it's good to welcome all of you here, but I wish you didn't have to be here. I wish we could meet under other circumstances, and sadly, I think I will not be here when we are meeting under those other circumstances, because I've taken the decision to not stand again in the next general election. And I was reminded a little earlier tonight of what first got me involved in the situation of Cyprus. I knew nothing about. I was a councillor in Brighton, not a member of Parliament. I was a councillor in Brighton. I knew nothing at all about Cyprus. I'd never visited the country. And a small group of citizens in Brighton who were Cypriots invited me to go and meet them and talk to them, because they were concerned about a local college in Brighton making arrangements for links with a college in the north of Cyprus. And they explained to me why they felt that was not a good thing to happen, and I agreed with them. And from then I learned about the invasion by Turkey 35 years ago, and I learned especially about the heartache of those families who still did not know what had happened to their husbands, brothers, sons, nephews, wives and daughters even, following that invasion. And I was reminded of the importance of that tonight when, along with some others here, went to meet families of the missing people outside this building. And I think Turkey thought that the world would forget. I think Turkey thought that if it showed signs of modernising over the years, if it presented itself as a player on the international stage, the rest of the world would forget about Cyprus. Well, the persistence, the dedication of those wives and mothers and daughters in some cases here tonight of the missing people shows that Cypriots will not forget, and the rest of us will not forget. I wish I could be optimistic enough to say that by the time the general election comes, whenever that's going to be, and let's assume next spring sometime, I'll still be here in this place when there is a solution to the question of Cyprus. I don't think that will be the case. But I would echo what Mr Burrowes has said. Use the opportunity of this general election campaign, not just in London, and I'm willing to... Anyone here from outside London? Two people. Not just in London, but use the opportunity of encouraging your relatives in other parts of the country to meet with the candidates of all the parties, to make sure that they understand what the issues are and why, when Eddie O'Hara, who's been involved in this struggle for longer than I have, is no longer here, and I'm no longer here in Parliament, there are continuing new influx of MPs to take home that issue to the UK government, however that government is composed. The solution must be decided by the people of Cyprus. But that does not mean that the rest of us can sit back and say, let them get on with it. I'll repeat what I've said so many times. And I'm reminded of one aspect of what I'm going to say by the fact that later on this year, I think in November, that the Commonwealth Economic Summit is being held in Limassol. And that's a reminder to us, not just about the European Union, and not just about our role in the UK as a guarantor power, but also about the fact that we're talking about a fellow member of the Commonwealth. And this country has a particular role, therefore, to play. Not in telling the people of Cyprus what to do, but perhaps telling some of those other players, in particular Turkey, and to some extent the United States as well, what they ought to be doing to make sure that the conditions are right for a solution in Cyprus. So I shall continue, even when I'm no longer a Member of Parliament here, to watch closely what is happening and to do my bit as an ordinary citizen to support you in your just cause. Remain persistent. Remain persistent, and your persistence will be rewarded. I am convinced of that. I'm convinced of it because I think Turkey does want to be recognised as acceptable to the rest of Europe and to the rest of the international scene. And they may want to slow down the process, but that is what they want. And that remains, I think, a real bargaining counter that everyone else should be using to put pressure on Turkey. Good luck to all of you.
Thank you very much, David. Thank you for your good words and your wise counsel, which is appreciated. I think you're absolutely right in pointing out that it's vitally important that in the run-up to the next election, our community mobilises, not just within London, but outside it as well. And the one thing that I need to add is that we will be very sad to see you leave Parliament, because you have been an exceptionally good friend to Cyprus, and that will be a loss to our cause. But delighted to hear that you will continue to be involved in other ways.